Well, welcome to year 13 open house for mentors. This is the first year we're actually hosting a virtual open house. This meeting will be recorded. It will be stashed online so you can review it later. But the aim and goal of this open house is to answer some questions about what it's like to be a mentor, to learn what the Newing program is, and we'll hear some mentor testimonials at the end of this session. Normally, this presentation is given in February during our open house for incubator members. So if you're curious to learn more in depth about the Newing program, I highly recommend going to our YouTube channel and watching that video of open house where there's a Q&A that's recorded as well. And you can learn really in depth about what the Newing program offers our members. I won't go as deep into that in this presentation, but I will go deeper into what the mentor experience is like and what we hope it can be for you all. So I will start with talking about the team. Unfortunately, only Gatch and I are here today. So Gatch is our production coordinator. I'm the head of community. We're currently hiring for 2 roles here at Newing. We're soon to be announcing a role of deputy director, which should be focused on operations. And we're currently have an open call for a media manager, media and fabrication lab manager. And you can find that at the new museum ADP site. So if you know anybody, feel free to forward it to them. We're a small but mighty team. Preston Fox just joined a few months ago, coming from the Studio Museum, and is our program manager. Preston runs all of our professional development workshops and learning programs here at Newing. Alyssa Noel is our marketing and communications manager. So any emails, graphics, social media posts that you've seen or followed, that's Alyssa's genius behind that. Barbara, our department coordinator, keeping our space stocked, cleaned, and up to date. And we will be without any sort of purpose or aim without Salome Asega, our director, who's a Newing alumni. Salome really is stewarding and leading us through all of these times. We really love Salome. The Newing program was founded in 2014, so we're entering our 13th cohort. It's really wild to see how the program has changed, and there's been so many iterations of the program. But at its core, what we offer to our members, to our incubator members, are these 4 main components. One is community. We curate the group of incubator members into 5 separate tracks. We offer them a lot of tiers of mentorship, and that's what y'all are here for, to learn more about that. As I mentioned earlier, there's peer-to-peer learning through our professional development workshop, and we also offer co-working space with some fabrication access. There are opportunities through Newing to participate in public presentation. That also applies to mentors. Some of our mentors end up in conversations or with members collaborating with them frequently. Just some overall statistics of where we're at. So we're just sending out our year 13 acceptance letters today. And so our members are signing up for next year. I will have the full statistics of year 13 by the time the program starts. But up through this year, we've had about 730 alumni. We have roughly 120. This year will probably be more, around 130 entrepreneurs between the community membership and incubator tracks. We have about 130 plus mentors annually. That's across all of the tiers. Newingers are really good at starting businesses and raising money. To date, they've raised almost $29 million. And here are some statistics about our incubator members and community members this year that's closing in a month. Just to show you some of our alumni, so you have some idea of the types of programs or projects that come through here. Kinfolk Foundation uses AR. They came up really in the movement for Black Lives in 2020, and they started ideating what it would be like if monuments were replaced by cultural figures that were maybe overlooked or marginalized. Through their partnership, they've really expanded and have been doing this type of work for almost 10 years now. They've really become the lead industry leaders in AR visualization in public spaces. So we're really proud of what they've done. They hosted a summit last year, and they stay close to the Newing community. Stephanie Dinkins, Time 100 most influential people in AI, not just artists. We're actually showing one of her works here at the museum at the New Humans exhibition. Stephanie Dinkins was a year 3 alumni. Um, One of our more notorious or recognizable alumni are Mischief. Actually, only 2 of them participated. They're a conceptual art collective. They really deal with kind of consumerism and tongue-in-cheek type of behavior. They've really also generated a ton of money through sales and also fundraising and partnerships. Um, Funny fact about Mischief is when they applied to New Ink, their proposal was to create a celebrity meet, and you would grow this celebrity meet so that you could kind of live this parasocial relationship with your idols. So whoever was on that selection committee, they really saw something in Mischief. So we're super, it represents definitely what the New Ink ethos is, which is mostly curiosity. This year, these are our 5 tracks. So our incubator members will be split across these 5 kind of specific focus groups. Our mainstays have been art and code in partnership with Rhizome, creative science in partnership with Simons Foundation, and extended realities that we partner with EY Intelligent Realities Lab and Onassis Onyx just here in Tribeca. Social architecture has also become kind of a mainstay track. This is our 4th or 5th year running it. And this year we have a new track called Launchpad, which is aimed towards product services that are ready to go to market. These 5 tracks represent buckets of kind of curiosity or investigation. They're not literal one-to-one. So every year, the track focuses change based on the incubator members that occupy them. What are they working on? I'll very quickly go over what our members, incubator members, experience. These are some of the offerings that we give them. I'm not going to go through all of them, but it is a paid program, and they have a suite of offerings that we try to make as holistically as possible. This isn't like a graduate program. It's not an artist residency. It's more a professional development / postgraduate kind of incubator where people are working on projects independently. And it is a highly choose your own adventure program. Since I'm the head of community, one of the things I think the best part of this incubator membership are the people that we invite to be here. That includes the mentors as well. We take a lot of time trying to understand what projects are coming into the program and try to imagine how these collaborations could happen. Like, what if this person who's working on this biosensor is next to this person making this product? Perhaps they could collaborate and come out with a new line of toys or a new line of water sensors to detect pollution or E. coli in the river. A lot of these things I'm saying aren't random. They actually happen. We're always surprised by the collaborations that come across at New Ink. And we try to generate that through low risk, high reward community involvement. So we offer community programs monthly, sometimes more than that. And our community philosophy, I'm just going to highlight the middle of this section, is really to uplift underrepresented voices, share resources, remove gatekeepers, and advance society through cultural change. I think that sentence alone really represents the type of members we invite, the type of mentors we invite, and the programs we run. So in our community offerings, we have opportunities for members to share their work. We invite mentors to these sessions as well. 3 to 4 members present 7 to 10 minutes about what they're working on, specific project or at large, and they solicit real-time feedback. So they're looking for collaborators, sometimes they're looking for critique style feedback, sometimes they're looking for investors, and that's a moment for them to really see what's available. There are also field trips. So we take trips to places that people are interested in or want to learn more about. Mostly we've been doing this in New York City. However, we have expanded our communities to like Los Angeles, Philadelphia, sometimes Chicago, and we're really looking and interested in empowering our members in these different cities. So this program is not just New York centric, while 70% do live here in the city or nearby. we do encourage this kind of global diaspora of our members. Our learning program, hosted by Preston, really is kind of like a ABC process. So we get people started with business fundamentals, vision and values, and then thinking about scaling. So we do have this generative kind of program where we're starting with how do you talk about your work? What do you want your work to be about? Thinking about moving that kind of vision into like an actual hard physical thing where you're like, okay, this is the business model. Here's how I'm going to register this business. And then season 3 is hopefully like scaling, like thinking about how to take the capital you have or the earnings you have and grow that. These themes that Preston has identified as like a core offering are often modified by the incoming cohort as well. We survey our cohort and ask them, what do they want to learn? And we take that information and we find either professional development leaders to run Foundation Fridays, which is a suite of one-off sessions thinking about taxes, legal basics, and other challenges for navigating the challenging capitalist art space. So we've had Austin Roby, who's an alumni and mentor who started Subvert, come and lead some workshops. And those are one-offs. We also have intensives, which are day-long or can be 2 days long, kind of all-day seminars. Think about attending a conference where there's like a suite of learning involved. Some of these are about like energy management. Some of these are about legal contracts, IP law, and some are about setting up businesses or foundations. And the last tier of learning is through working groups. These are multi-week seminar style explorations. They can focus on DIY AI, how to make your own language learning model. They can focus on how to launch something, like what's their trajectory for prototyping, testing, building a story, creating an ad campaign, and then launching a product. So these are also responsive to our members' requests as well. These paths can exist in different ways. I've mentioned some of these already. A big focus of our members for the past 4 years that I've been here has been fundraising, business modeling, raising money. So we had a donorship deep dive, like how to think about institutions and partnering not only with institutions, but sometimes commercial ventures that might have values alignment. Thinking about partnerships with musicians or actors as well. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we also have these one-off responsive programmings, but I'm not going to go too much into that because this is the heart of what this conversation is about, which is mentorship. This is one of the major tiers of our members' benefits. And we have multiple different types of mentors. So each of those 5 tracks will be assigned a track mentor. That person is an expert in that craft or field. They might not be a practitioner. They could be an academic. They could be experienced in that field, but they could also be involved in some way. So those track mentors meet monthly with all of the projects in each track. They meet from 90 minutes to 2 hours, and they kind of lead the track through a bird's eye view of what the cohort is working towards. All of these meetings happen virtually. Alongside the track mentors, we have a community mentor in residence for all of the members. They're normally here to like work through questions, kind of be a point of touch or just another resource to access the Newing community. So sometimes they lead events like healing workshops, restorative justice, disability justice. So they take some of the high value and ethical standards of these artists that we invite, and sometimes they kind of massage or understand those ideas within the larger cohort group. Here are our track mentors for this year. So we have Dr. Elizabeth Lanoff, a scientist and an instructor at NYU, but an artist in her own right. Isabel Flower, who's an editor and architect specialist who used to write for Teen Magazine. Sloan Leo, who founded Flock Studio, but also runs Queer Design Lab and now is working in a political NGO sphere, leads our cooperative studies track. Our partner cousin organization, Rhizome, which archives and preserves internet art, leads our art and code track. And Danielle McFadder, artist, musician, and augmented reality user, leads our extended reality track. Danielle has been our track manager for about 5 years now. And our community mentors and residents are Jay Mines, who's a communications specialist, but also is a restorative justice and circle keeper. And Finnegan Shannon, the artist who works mostly about disability justice. The open call for mentors are for these two tiers. Dedicated mentors are the first tier. These are cheerleaders, advisors, champions of members' work. They're dedicated and paired to one incubator member. That could also be a team, so one kind of project. They meet regularly with the members outside of the tracks. They schedule those meetings independently, and they work through this process of matchmaking in the beginning of the year. These are mentors who have, first and foremost, time. I think one of the hardest parts of being a mentor at New Inc. is scheduling, finding time, rescheduling, and staying focused. So one of the things that we look for in a dedicated mentor is somebody who is able to kind of steward a member, or not necessarily boss them around, but be active. Reach out if you don't hear from them from a while. If they had to cancel a meeting, you'll be active and proactive in rescheduling that meeting, and you'll be checking in with them to see how their progress is going on their goals and projects. So this tier of mentorship is a little bit more involved. We ask them to meet 8 to 10 times a year. Those sessions can be 30 minutes to an hour. It's really up to you. And they can scale up and down as you like. So you can create these agreements with your mentees, but it really is a self-fulfilled prophecy. As I mentioned, here's a slide about what who they are. I was just talking a lot about this. But yeah, the second sentence is really emblematic of what a dedicated mentor. They'll go above and beyond to schedule, reschedule, and stay active with their member, even when they fall out of touch. Dedicated mentors are not alone in this. All of the mentors can talk to me, and I try my best to help schedule or work through issues and get in touch with members as well. We'll have some mentor testimonials later, and they can also mention how they work with us in their relationship with our incubator members. These meetings, as I mentioned, you can meet every 2 to 4 weeks. Some mentors are really generous. We don't ask you to do any more than you can take on. Some mentors meet with their mentees every 2 weeks. So that's roughly 20 meetings a year. Some mentors meet 8 times a year, and both have satisfactory or excellent experiences. So it really depends on the mentee. It depends on the mentor, like what do you have bandwidth to do? How engaged and involved do you want to get? And here's an example of cadence at the end of this paragraph. You can meet bi-weekly to start, take a break during the holidays, start bi-weekly in January, take a couple weeks off in the spring, and then ramp up towards the end of the year when Demo Festival happens. And I'll talk about Demo Festival and our public programs at the end of this presentation. Here are some examples of our dedicated mentors in the past. Dorothy Santos, one of the former ED of Processing Foundation, Neil Hamamoto, who founded the Worthless Studios, but is also an artist in their own right, and Rashana Bagley, who created Where the Black Designers At, which is a Slack group and community of about 10,000 Black designers around the world. Currently, she works for Creative Lives in Progress that kind of analyzes what the living standards and the work and contract standards are of artists right now. And that's a global initiative. The other tier we're soliciting applications for right now is office hour mentors. This is a little bit less of an involvement, but you meet way more members in this tier of mentorship. These are all virtual. You can organize by yourself in real life meetings. That happens all the time. Sometimes these meetings are like studio visits. Sometimes they're pitches. Sometimes they're specific questions about mentors' specific experience. If you're a mentor and you work at David's Warner, for example, a member might ask, what's it like working as Warner? Or how do you find your artists? Or what is it like working with client sales? You can only talk about what you feel comfortable with, but these are the styles or the options that these meetings might take place. So who are these office hour mentors? They're curators, professionals in various fields, and master the challenges or needs of our vast membership. Um, Office hour mentors should have some experience in the field that they claim expertise in, but we allow mentors to self-select what they feel like are their greatest strengths. Sometimes you meet only with one member once. Sometimes they want to meet with you again. It's up to you if you want to decide. The minimum amount of meetings for an office hour mentor is 6 meetings. Those meetings are 40 minutes. You can stack them on top of each other, or you can do them weekly, or you can do them seasonally. Some mentors want to meet members more than 6 times, but that's all we ask for. So roughly, it's about 4 hours of meeting our members in total. We offer an application called cal.com. It's a Calendly alternative, or you can independently schedule those meetings. Here's some examples of our office hour meetings. We've had Noam Segal, the curator of art and technology at the Guggenheim, Miriam Ashard, the founder and director of FI internationally in Montreal, Nonsikalala Mutiti, the chair of graphic design at Yale School of Art, and Carly Aries, who works at Figma and OpenAI. What are the benefits of being a mentor? We have an honoraria, and we acknowledge that the honoraria is more symbolic than it is effective. That honoraria is $300 for office hour mentors and $500 for dedicated mentors. That's paid at the end of the year, right around now. We also have special mentor weeks like Curator Week, Investor Week, Tech Week. Those sometimes include these pool of applicants, but other times are selected through a curatorial method as well. We try to send our mentor memos at least every other month. And there's also a community of mentorship as well. So we have a Slack channel for all the mentors. That's our kind of main mode of comms, like quick comms here at New Ink. We're introducing this idea of having mentors share their work amongst other mentors as well. So mentor work shares. We have separate curated mixers, and there's a separate mentor portal where you can access all of your mentor information. You'll also be affiliated on the New Ink website. If you go to the New Ink website now, you can see all of our mentors. You'll have your headshot there. There'll be an announcement and a link to whatever website you'd like us to share. You'll also have special opportunities to attend demo festival. You'll have first dib on New Ink programs. You'll also have private community events. We have lots of social events here at the museum. And last but not least, you'll have a new museum all access plus membership. That also has a reciprocal membership to about 50 other museums around the world as well. I'm very quickly going to run through our space and our public programs because I know that we're running out of time and our mentors might have joined at this moment. Are James and Ross here? Can you let me know when we get there? So I won't go as quick. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the new museum, we're here on the Bowery in Soho, Manhattan. This building on the right has been renovated. So this building is where we are right now. Currently, we're here on the 5th floor. That's New Ink. We have a whole floor here at the museum. And in the expansion, we have soft seating, conference rooms, one of which we're in right now, storage lockers. We're still very much setting up the space, but we do have these media labs, and this is probably the most exciting part. This is a rendering, apologies. We do have photographs, but they just aren't in-house yet. But our media lab and fabrication lab are for prototyping, recording audio and video packages, motion capture, also super powerful computers that do things that I don't really understand, but our members do. And so it's been really nice coming back to the Bowery after being away for 3 years, seeing our members in the space, using 3D modeling, using the 3D printers, Some people are in the conference room taking meetings, some people are collaborating. So it really is an active space at the moment, which is quite special. Um, we also partner with Onassis Onyx. They're also kind of a cousin organization. We helped found that space in 2019, I believe. And they just recently moved down the street. So they're about 15-minute walk away from here. They're the home of the XR track. They also have really powerful computers, VR equipment, and motion capture systems. A lot of crossover happens between extended reality track members and the Onyx crew. Okay, last section. I saw Ross has joined. We're just waiting for James to come as well. So these are the public programs that some of our members might have access to. So Demo Festival is the largest one. It just passed this about 2 weeks ago. We have 25 of our members present on stage and around 20 people exhibit work and also showcase work in this bookstore. The bookstore is still open, so if you're in New York, you can see some of our members' work down there. That's definitely our largest program, but we also host this creative science dinner every fall, and that's focused on some of our creative science members checking in and meeting with our deputy director of programs to kind of install some artwork, but we also work with like an emerging chef who kind of understands the New Ink ethos. Lately, we've been hosting a really crazy holiday party. The concept is a holiday party thrown by people who have never worked in an office. So this is like an office themed holiday party. Each year, a comedian is invited to the event to like create a business that they would be incubating at New Ink. The first year was with Ana Fabrega and Julio Torres. They created a company that like created storytelling around the little characters in architectural buildings. And this year, Jabuki created a company called Star that constantly recorded you so that you could be an influencer and you never had to pick up your phone. Okay, I just want to talk about submitting your optimal application. We tried to make your application really short, but just some background. Last year, 43% of the applicants who joined the mentor program were accepted into the program. And we aim to have about 75 dedicated mentors and 60 to 70 office hour mentors. The New Ink staff will solicit feedback from the incoming members, as I mentioned earlier, as to which areas they're looking to grow. And we use that data to select mentors based on their skills. So in the submittable, you'll see a section that says, what skills do you have? When you check those boxes, those are the exact same options that we send to our members. So we look at what skills are being offered, what skills are being desired, and we try to make that mesh there. Just to reiterate one last time, the mentors that we're looking for who have space and time to give back to mentees. I think that's the most important part I can emphasize. You have strong practice working deep in specialized fields, and you want to advance culture, drive social, economic, and ecological change. You're community minded. Doesn't mean you have to work with communities. It just means you can work alongside them. Can you coach? Can you take feedback? And can you work towards resolution with one another? Lately, this has become something that's emerging, which is like strong business fundamentals, or at least an understanding of how the business is conducted today. Here's the timeline. It's the same that's on the submittable, so I won't talk about it too much. But I see that Ross and James have joined. Unfortunately, Nancy had a passport appointment, so she isn't able to join us today. But I invited two of our mentors to join today to just give some testimonials about what it's been like at New Ink, what kind of people they've worked with, and what kind of work they've done. And, you know, Ross and James have been mentors for a few years. They know the program well. And I really emphasize that this is not a propaganda event. I would love like honest experience. And I'll start with Ross, as I've seen him come up. Thanks so much for joining us, Ross, and saving me from talking for 40 minutes straight.
No, thank you for having me, Paul. Yeah, I've been a mentor for 7 years now. So I've been a combination of office hours and dedicated, depending on the year. So I've done 3 years of dedicated mentorship, 4 years of office hours. Um, I've basically been with the program since we were at the old New Ink building, and kind of grown with the program as it's evolved into fully digital, and then now back into the space at the redeveloped new museum. Um, as far as my experience with New Ink, there's obviously a reason that I come back. I think the greatest motivator has really been the community. Um, the New Ink team does such a fantastic job at selecting uh, members of the creative community that not only are doing really interesting things within their own practices, but are just wonderful people to get to know and get to engage with on a regular basis. I often compare New Ink to um, like a graduate program without actually having to go to school, and by that I mean that um, you're meeting people who are all doing very different things. Obviously the tracks that Newing covers demonstrate that. But at the same time, everyone is speaking a very common language. And so you can have really in-depth conversations across a wide variety of creative and technological disciplines. But you can go really deep in a way that I find is sometimes difficult outside of the context of this community, or outside of the context of an art and technology community specifically. Um, as far as time involvement, I think it really depends. I've been a part of New Ink when I've had very limited bandwidth and only really been able to provide the the office hours minimum that is required. Um, in other years when I've had greater capacity, those are typically years when I have done dedicated mentorships. That is meeting with your mentees once a month for, I would say, about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sometimes that's done in person, sometimes that can be kind of an outing, going to a museum, something like that. But I would say that, that's the official guidelines around the mentorship. There have been many times when I have had a 30-minute office hours mentorship session, and we've essentially taken that offline and continued that conversation and really developed that into something much more meaningful and substantial. So it really depends on your capacity at a given time, and also like what that relationship evolves into with a specific men mentee. And then as far as the types of work that you can do with the members, I've done everything from production advisory, which is my primary specialty. So you know how to actually execute a sculpture or an exhibition, etc. I've also advised on uh, development of the practice. So that can be, from a creative standpoint, like helping to guide a, a, ment a mentee in a specific direction uh, within their areas of focus. And then I've also advised on the other side of things from the business standpoint, and how to think about a sustainable create a practice and what is needed for that, different ways of business development, um, you know, different hard skills, negotiation, um, technical documentation, etc., or proposal documentation, etc. So this is all to say that the New mentorship can be a lot of different things. It really is one, how much you are able to bring to it, and two, what kinds of skills you want to flex in your mentorship. So that's kind of my spiel. Um,
Amazing. I have to say, Ross is one of our all-star mentors who definitely goes above and beyond, and is in that bell curve of the 10% at the top.
thank you.
Cool. Thank you so much, Ross. Maybe I'll
Of
pass it
course.
to James, who's been a mentor now for 3 years. James is about the tenure that I've had, and James was one of the first mentors that I actively worked with. And so, thanks so much, James.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, and hello, everyone. Ross, you did an amazing job, and I don't know how much more I really have to add, except to confirm that my experience has been much like yours. I have been doing this for 3 years. The first year, I was a dedicated mentor working with a group here in New York. The second year, I was a dedicated mentor working with a group in Shanghai. And the third year, I've been an office hours mentor. And so I've seen a variety of different modalities for this. And I really agree with Ross that it's the more you put in, the more you get out. There is just an immense hunger from the members to connect with and learn from mentors and also everybody else in the community, their fellow members, etc. And the reason that I am a part of the community is because I haven't encountered anything like this anywhere. I've told the team before that what I think makes New Ink so amazing is it's really easy to get amazing, brilliant, creative people together, and it's really easy to get really nice, interesting, kind people together, and it's really hard to get people who are both brilliant, creative, interesting, and also nice and kind together. And that is the community of New Ink. And so, the more you engage with that community, the more amazing people you meet and really, just yeah, great things that come out of it. So I'm still very close with the members that I mentored over the years, and also with numerous other members who I met either at social events or who reached out to me about specific things. My specific area is on the kind of business and operational and strategic side. So my first members were a collective who had a practice that they wanted to use their commercial practice to be able to support their artistic practice. One was a textile artist and one was a creative technologist. And so helping to work with them to make that practice sustainable. I went to their studio once a month for a long conversation. It was a really, really rich exchange and very successful. And then my second mentee was in Shanghai. Like I said, that was over Zoom. Certainly not as rich of an exchange because we weren't able to meet in person. But I still really enjoyed that experience. And then as an office hours mentor, the nice thing about that is you just get to meet so many people and support in lots of different ways. So I just support what Ross says that, if you feel like this is a community for you, then it's really just about giving as much time as you're able to and would like to, and it will pay back in spades.
Thank you, James. And I just want to kind of pull one note from both Ross and James and then open it up to the floor for Q&A, which is we're flexible on time. If a mentor tells me, if we send an offer for a dedicated mentorship and the mentor tells me, you know what, I don't have time for that, we value the skills more than anything else. So we're happy to work with people on their level. We understand that working with people is time consuming. So we're just grateful for any experience and speciality to join. So we have about 14 minutes here. We don't need to use it all, but if you have questions in the chat or if you want to unmute and ask them out loud, happy to answer.
One in the chat.
Yes, Nicholas asks, am I correct in understanding that mentors don't have to be based in NYC? You're correct. We have mentors all over the planet. And in fact, that's really helpful to us because we have mentees or members in different time zones. We're also growing communities in different cities. In Seoul, in Los Angeles, we're trying to make a bigger one in the Bay Area. So when we have mentors over there, we set up these smaller groups in different zones, and we try to support them by organizing little get-togethers, both with mentors and mentees. Um, Again, I'm the community guy, so my main focus is on bringing people together. If Preston was here and Salome was here, they would definitely angle more of the learning angle and the presentation angle and the professional angle. But to me, all of that starts with people. So you don't have to be in New York, long way of saying it. Yeah, go ahead, Tikva.
Hey there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm sorry that I'm not on video. I loved this. I was a mentor. I mean, I think it was like 8 years ago or something, and it's just really incredible to see that the program is still going and it's so rich. And I just echo a lot of what Ross and what James were saying about my experience, and I'm looking forward to more. The question I had, and actually it was interesting that you just mentioned community, because that wasn't as a long time ago, that wasn't as vibrant for those of us not in New York. And I'm curious about that for mentors and community opportunities and stuff like that for I don't know, it was like remote, if you're sort of if that's something that's a part of the program nowadays. Thank you.
For sure. We do offer a suite of like virtual programs. Most of those were in like work share capacity where people are online sharing about their work. And that was one of the hopes that we would do with mentors this upcoming year is that we would have like a Zoom where mentors could share 5 to 10 minutes about what they do. So the mentors can learn more about each other. Um, but also, we really have this interstitial kind of in person organizing that's self activated. So our members and our mentors kind of activate their geographic location in creating a get together. And sometimes Newing supports that and like RSVP. Sometimes we support that through in kind donations, or we'll help write letters to get like funding or food or bed donated. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. Love that.
Any other questions for James or Ross? Lived experiences? I wanna also really clarify, like some mentors and mentees like end up working together. They end up starting creative ventures together. They go into business together. That happens frequently. We have so many pipelines at New Inc. We have a member to mentor pipeline. We have a mentor to member pipeline. So there's no real one way to do the Newing program. We've had mentors join the incubator program, and we've had mentors lead professional development workshops. James led a business developing professional development workshop as well 2 years ago. So, any other questions? Okay, we can wrap it there. Is there a program that a mentor is supposed to develop for their group? Natalie, there is not a program. I wouldn't call it a program. I would call it a plan. Dedicated mentors, when they get matched with their mentees, are given a memorandum of understanding. It's a working sheet where you write how often you're going to meet, some goals, some metrics that you'd like to hit. And so that is kind of the plan you come up together with. But those plans can shift throughout the years based on each other's needs and availability. So um, in the first few meetings, we ask that the mentee and mentor work through that working sheet or something similar. And that would be what would be your program. So I'm sorry. How does that? Um, the price for an incubator member, not a mentor, but the member, is $75 a month or $900 a year with an $150 initiation fee. There is no cost for a mentor. Mentors are given either a $300 honoraria for office hours or $500 honoraria for dedicated. So there's no fee for mentors. There's only a fee for members. Jordan, is there a criteria to hold success against? No. uh, but we do take quantitative data at the end of the year, such as how much money have you fundraised? Did you hit your fundraising goals? But there are no metrics for success. Success to us, success to Team Newink, are that mentors meet with members, our members learn, our mentors enjoy and can give. So success to the Newink team is wide and vast. Success from the program can come immediately or it can come years down the line. So we have all sorts of different stories coming through Newink. We do dedicated mentorship is done through matchmaking, Natalie. The matchmaking process is quite involved. It's has multiple rounds of rankings. So our members receive a directory of mentors after we select and send out offers to our dedicated mentors, that they rank which 10 mentors they would like to meet. We then have a speed dating session where our members meet our mentors for 10 minutes. You meet 8 mentees during that session. It's called matchmaking day. Another round of rankings is submitted a week later. We ask that members and mentors submit a ranking of 15 members. That's more than you'll meet. So there's a little bit of gap in between the matchmaking day and submitting your rankings, where mentors and mentees, members can coordinate meetings independently to talk for 15 minutes, 10 minutes. We send those rankings to a matchmaking service that returns back the results of the matches to us. We look at those matches, we make sure that they're copacetic, and then we send those matches out. In this matchmaking service, not all members and mentors get matched. That's just a result of the analytics. It always will happen. And with those unmatched mentors and unmatched mentees, we work to try to get them to meet and then create matches for them. There are always more mentors than there are members. So inevitably, 5 mentors will be unmatched. Those 5 mentors are given an option. Do you want to be a dedicated mentor with a person outside of the incubator program, or would you rather just be an office hour mentor? When we send out offers, that's the tier of payment you will receive and mentorship you will have. So if you're sent a dedicated mentorship agreement, you are unmatched, you still receive the $500 honoraria, and you still have the same benefits of being a dedicated mentor. What about creators from other fields and pursuits outside the visual arts, such as fiction and poetry? Our members are really wide. I highly recommend checking them out. Some people make poetry with websites. One of our Art and Code members right now, Maury Coleman, creates poetry and other kind of time clock devices from using street cameras and a website. He's an Art and Code member. So our members are really wide. And so we encourage all types of disciplines to apply. But I will say, predominantly, overwhelmingly, in the last 3 years that I've been here, I've seen an increase where 80% of our members are looking for business development, business fundamentals, financing structures. So if you're a poet but you understand money, please join us. That's even better. Cool. we'll wrap it here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This will be recorded and stored on our Zoom. Ross and James, you guys are angels. Really, always a pleasure. And see you all very soon. Look forward to seeing your applications.
Bye, everyone.